What up, world? Waxville in Seattle, Washington. You already know what it is. Welcome to Waxville and Friends Fireside Chat. My brother Caddy Zach pulling up all the way from Memphis 10. He riding shotgun tonight. Los yesterdays are on the way. Keep it locked. We'll kick things off real soon. What up? We see it. Caddy Zach in the building. We see you, brother. Yo, Zach, you need to update your phone, brother. You can't join. I can't invite you. Man, these bow ties, we see it. Bad Vic in the building. Matt Bell, we see you, brother. Colt Eastwood, what up, bruv? AC, we see you, brother.
What's up, Vato? Hold on. I'm a little too close. I don't want to scare everybody out there in internet land. Of course, we're having technical difficulties. Of course.
Now, fellas, I missed the memo. Y'all didn't tell me I needed my shades today.
Yeah. You know, our future looks real bright, homie.
Yeah. What up, Rolly? In the building.
Hey, I'm here.
So,
yes.
Y'all two are kind of popular. We got about 40 on the line right now, but I want to just give a minute because our good friend, our soul brother, Cadillac Zach, is supposed to co-host tonight, and he missed the update on the phone, so we got to let that happen real quick. How y'all doing?
We freezing over here in LA,
cool,
dog.
man.
We had a blizzard.
Oh, man.
Dude, there's snow on the Hollywood sign, and it ain't the kind of snow, the normal snow. ¿Me entiendes?
I feel you. I've been watching the news.
Yeah, man. We ain't used to getting weather. We got people moving back to Boston because it's too cold here.
That's too funny. That is too funny.
Seattle, California. Stay in Seattle, California.
It was so dope when I got to go out there and meet y'all in person and kind of connect. It was a good time.
Dessert. Chalice.
Yeah, you know, I got my pimp chalice out.
Could you hold that again? I didn't see it. Okay. It's big time in 23.
You know, that's how we enjoy our wine nowadays. No more paper cups for us.
Man, forget the paper cup. We used to drink out of the bottle. Yeah.
There
What's
he
up,
is.
fellas?
Hey,
Yeah.
Memphis.
Fashionably late.
I love it.
The
You're
Memphis
right on time.
thing. I was smoking a brisket for you guys, but you're not here to eat it.
Hey, just hey man, it'll stay cold enough.
Yeah.
Trust me, it'll stay
I'll
cold
put it
enough
on ice and
transit.
you can warm it up.
Love it. I see we got 41 on the line. If y'all are ready, I'll go ahead and kick things off.
Yeah.
All right. I want to welcome everybody to the second season of Waxville and Friends Fireside Chat. This is really important to me. After the first 100 live stream interviews, I wanted to find a way to give back to the community. More importantly, I wanted to give my friends an opportunity to connect with musicians that move them in a greater capacity. So tonight, I've asked one of my good friends, my soul brothers, Cadillac Zach, to join me as a co-host. Now, if you don't know Zach is an incredible human being, but more importantly, he's one heck of a record collector. He's a resident DJ out on the town in Memphis, and he makes an impact through contributing by re-releasing records. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome my co-host tonight, Cadillac Zach. Now,
What?
we got about 10 questions tonight. I'm super excited for this one, y'all. Tonight, we are joined by two of the most celebrated musicians on the independent soul scene. From songs like Tell Me I'm Dreaming to Nobody's Clown to Who Made You, Gabriel Roland and Victor Benavidez have been crafting a sound from a lost genre for new audiences. From the studio to the stage where they performed in front of sold-out crowds, their music has served as hope, smiles, laughter during times of uncertainty. So I hope you'll help me welcome Victor and Gabriel here tonight. Welcome, y'all.
Yeah, thank you for
thank you,
having
brother.
us,
That was
man.
very nice.
This, we're big fans of yours. You always just have a great show, man. It's so pro. I talked to you on the back end before, just like, man, mad respect to you and your game, dude. You really know how to run an interview, dog. So seriously.
I appreciate you so much. And it's super exciting because I think this might be your third time. This is Gabe's first time, and y'all two are together. So that's kind of a one-night-only type of thing for me. I want to start off with kind of what I call an onboarding to Los Yesterday's question. Go ahead and introduce yourselves. Tell us your roles within the band. And I know we're missing a couple folks tonight, so tell us who else is part of the band as well.
Oh, okay. I'm Gabriel Rowland. I guess I'm like the catalyst. I produce for the band. I'm a songwriter and I'm a live drummer. Loud, too loud.
And I'm Bad Vic Benavides.
That's it.
Roland, I'll let him go into the whole origin story, but he's the reason I'm here and in Los Yesterdays. And yeah, I'll let him. I'm the singer. I also songwrite, lyricist. I pen all the lyrics and try to make everyone as sad as possible.
I love that. I love that. Awesome. And who else is in Los Yesterdays? The record?
Oh yeah, yes sir. We work with Mr. Gabriel Roth from Daptone and Penrose, the head of Penrose, and also Mr. Tommy Brunick.
TNT baby.
Who was from Dunham Records, and now his new label Diamond West. And then we also have just an abundant crew of brilliant musicians that play with us live. Dave, Paul Rodriguez, Mikey Rodriguez, Clarence Matheny.
We got Michelle Rodriguez from Go Betty Go, who comes in and plays some bass with us sometimes.
That was the last show, right? One of the
last.
Michelle
Rangel. And then let's see, we got Jackie Mendez, who just dropped a dope-ass single that Roland played vibes on. Jackie comes and helps us out on backups. We got Lalo Ortiz, who's just got the sweet touch on guitar. And Chris Gongora on bass has helped us out on occasion. Arlen Page, is it? Arlen Page on backups. So we got a serious backline, man. This may be a little secret out there in radio land, but like Roth and Tommy are real busy.
I believe it. I believe it.
Those dudes are busy. So, we got our familia, our back guys that are right there for us every time. And you never know what lineup you're going to get, but you're always going to get Los Yesterdays.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm so glad that I asked this question because I love the Arlen Page 45 on Noriega Records.
Oh, yeah.
So I had no idea that
give a dog a bone.
What?
Give a dog a bone.
Yeah.
Knick-knack, paddywhack, right?
Yeah. All right. So let's take it back from the beginning, and you kind of started to talk about this, but I would really love to know how y'all two met. Where did it start?
We met? That's
how y'all met that first time y'all collaborated with the music?
Oh, sure.
Oh, collaborated? Well, those are three different questions. Like, first time we met, the first time we collaborated, and then Los Yesterdays, because me and this fool, we like brothers. We've known each other for 30-some years.
And but check it out, dude. This guy was a singer in my older brother's band. That's how I met him. They were bad, dude. They were
don't say it. It was a terrible name. I didn't name us. It was the mob. It was the mob.
The mob. Yeah. But let me tell you something, dude. The first time that I jammed with this fool, like my brother asked me to come play drums with him, like at the Whiskey or some shit, and I joined them for the gig, and that band opened up with "I Am the Walrus" by the Beatles, and Vic
I can so hear
it, dude. It's a crazy hard song to sing, and he destroyed it, but he put like some soul in it, and I was like, damn, something wrong with that fool.
And then there was that other band that we had after that, where our drummer, we had booked studio time to do a demo. Our drummer had called. He couldn't do it because he had to work, and so we called Roland at the last minute. This dude came down to the studio, never heard any of it, just killed it. Never heard a single line of music, and came in and saved the session. And that was one of my first, like, kind of like, this dude's like a superhero. Like, he came in and saved our asses.
That's wild. That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
I've
right,
seen
Jack,
that
you're up.
magic.
What's that?
I said I've seen that magic where you just make it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you kind of seen that, right? Something like that.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing when you just walk in and make it happen.
Yeah, it was like what? Well, I don't know about Rome, but yeah, it was like I wasn't even scared. For those out there who don't know what we're talking about, we did a session with the Cold Blooded Express, and that record, that track, eluding me. The name is eluding me. Give me the name again.
Secret. It's top secret.
Okay, I can't say it.
Yeah, we're not
Okay,
ready.
I'm glad I
We're not
didn't say
ready
it.
yet.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we got.
I don't think anybody realizes what we're all talking about right now. It took me a second.
Okay, yeah. We did a
That'll
session
be for another
in
show.
Memphis at Sam Phillips Studio.
There you go.
Mom's doing some more. Sorry.
I love this. You know what? This is like a family talk right now. I feel like we're all sitting in the living room. Zach, you're up with number 2.
All right, guys. On what would you say your earliest memory of creating music, and who inspires you to continue to make music today?
Oh, man. I think, just like when I was 11, when I got my first drum set after I bought it with my paper route, just like trying to make my own beats, trying to like come up with my own beats and my own drum rolls and stuff like that. I think that was like the seed that planted the idea that I could create different music or my own music, really. And then like what inspires me to do music today, just listening to music and watching people and looking in my daughter's eyes and looking in my son's eyes, and everything inspires me, honestly. But all types of music.
And I don't know. I'm every time we do an interview together, I always have questions for Roland as well, because even though we know each other, it's like you don't ask like fan questions, like when your brothers like that. But I know Roland's dad was really good at ham boning, like doing the ham bone stuff.
Okay.
And he would always do that around us, and he had great rhythm. And I'm wondering, did that get your interest in drumming? The fact that he would always be doing rhythms.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he learned that in the joint. He came home with the ham bone from Tehachapi. And that, and also, when I was a kid in East LA, this church opened up. It came from Spanish Harlem, and it was called Victory Outreach. And the pastor was this Puerto Rican dude from Spanish Harlem, and he came to to work with the Chicanos in East Los. And we went to that church, and they brought this gospel meets Latino music from Spanish Harlem. And I would sit in front at like 5 years old and was just absolutely mesmerized. I was born again and again and again and again and again and again and again, because I just wanted that shit. I just wanted to eat it up. It was incredible. It was like Afrobeat, disco, Latino, magic, gospel with a big choir, and they had a horn section and like 30 people like blistering through melodies. I think that was my first time I was absolutely taken by music. I could feel myself wanting to like tear up and shit.
That's incredible the way that you describe it, because as enthusiasts, we're often having to envision what y'all are doing in the studio when we're listening to your records. So I get it when you talked about I'm just thinking, how do y'all choreograph that? But
Yeah, my situation was honestly, I've just always written songs and beats. I don't know where it came from the time that I was a little kid. just always coming up, like writing songs, come up with songs in my head, adding parts to songs that existed. I listen to songs and that I've heard all my life, and then I always throw in my little part in it that I've written, and I sing along with it every time. Like it could be a guitar part or keyboard part, but I always hear parts on stuff, and so I'll add my parts. Listen to the song I've heard a million times. No one else will ever hear those parts on those songs, but I hear them every time, right?
Remix.
And then and then as far as like the first time it really hit me, and I know I'm gonna get all kinds of hate for this. I know I'm gonna get all kinds of hate, but I don't care, man. I'm still down with Elvis. The first time I ever saw Elvis as a kid, it just, man, that dude, he was something else. It was like to me, he was like a superhero, you know, and like seeing his voice control, his vocal power, his stage craft, the way he moved, everything about that dude was just cool to me. And for the longest time, I wanted to be Elvis, right? And then I got into Jim Morrison, and you know, Latinos love Jim Morrison. And so then and it was always kind of like I always wanted to be a singer. I didn't necessarily want to be a songwriter. It was kind of that just is the way I am. I never really like, oh, I want to write songs. It was just kind of always there. So I never really, that kind of part never, and people used to trip, like, how do you, you know, and I'm like, I don't know, it's just there.
It's incredible because when I describe you to folks, it's your dynamic voice and it's your stage presence, whether it's in a video, whether it's performing live. So it's just incredible that that's who you looked up to, you admired, and then you found that within yourself. Now,
yeah, and it's important. It's like, I'm going to quote Oscar Wilde right there for all the literati fans. You know, his quote that I love. Oh, and actually, I'll say it later. I think this is maybe you guys are going to ask this later, right? I'll save it. Save it for later.
I'm so glad we've been setting agendas and minute by minutes for like 3 years now. So listen, guys.
Terrible.
You know, one of the things that we miss out on is what's below the tip of the iceberg. And while we hear the music and we're like, oh man, and we see you guys smiling, I know that it's not always easy. And sometimes you're spending hours in the studio. It's not always fun when you're having to carry, gear on gigs and so on like that. You talked about a friendship of 30 years, different bands playing in different genres. What is your why for continuing to make music?
Oh, well, man, I have ADD real bad. ADHD, I don't know what the fuck you call it, but I just, ever since I was like a little kid, I would just have to be in my bedroom, like drawing or doing something else. Otherwise, I would just get bored. But for me, like the soul music thing, we grew up with it, and, it's going outside, whether you're in East LA or South Central or whatever, you heard it everywhere. We lived right next to, African American families everywhere I lived, and so it was just a part of our everyday life. And for me, like, I think soul music is from the heart, and it's supposed to feel good, and it's supposed to elevate you. And I think that that's my intention, is to elevate, elevate myself and elevate other people. I love seeing people smile and move and, get their mind off that daily grind.
I love that.
Yeah, for me, I am not unlike you gentlemen here. I feel more kinship for you than I do with all my bandmates, because all these cats are real cats. Like, they play everything. They can make any music out of anything. Me, I'm a fan that just happened to get in like one of my favorite bands. Like, I quit music for almost a decade before Roland called me up and said, hey, I want you to help me on these jingles, because he knew I could write and sing. And then he brought up the idea of a Chicano soul band. And I'm like, yeah, let's do it, man. And I go, but I'm retired. I don't play out no more. I'm not going to play. I'm not gonna play shows no more. And I was like, just as long as I don't have to do that, I'm down. We'll write songs. And then, Tommy got a hold of it through a mutual friend of Roland's, and it was Mr. Yesterday. Tommy interviewed us like that. You didn't write that song. That's not yours. And it's like, yeah, we're pretty sure it's ours. And so then he's like, you got any more? So then we, showed him the rest of the stuff, and then we got signed to Penrose and all that battle. And we weren't even supposed to be on the label. Like, they had already signed all the acts they were going to sign. And we were like the last minute kind of like, what about these guys? And they don't have a band. And then Tommy and Roth didn't have a band. So it was kind of like, well, we'll be their band. And then there you go. And that's how it went down. That's how it went. But I didn't want to. I had been done with music. I'm like, I don't need to do this shit. It ain't worth it. I got a good holiday. I'm not even messing with this. Tired of herding cats, So, then it just kind of all my end just kind of I fell into it by accident. But kind of story of my life, to tell you the truth. I just kind of fall into shit and end up coming out smelling like a rose. So I don't know how that goes.
Well, I think it's a beautiful story, and I mean, again, I'm just marveling over the fact that you told Gabe, no, I'm not doing shows. And fast forward, Zach and I know what you look like on stage, and we couldn't imagine, not seeing you up there. So,
well, I really hate it, man. For everybody out there, I'm like painfully shy. If anybody's ever met me, I'm in hell up there with all those people watching me and looking at me, giving me applause. So
don't like being
that'll make me laugh.
I want to run away and sign autographs.
Get out of here. Get out of here. So listen, for the next question, I need to get a lens into the lab. Gabe, can you tell us something that you've observed when collaborating, working with Vic in the studio, maybe something that we wouldn't know about him that really makes, these projects so special?
Well, let me steal myself quickly.
I think one thing that's surprising to people is that he works super quickly. Like, he'll just, he'll come up, like, I think it was like 5 or 7 minutes that he came up with the lyrics for Clown and the melody, like, super fast. And to see that, I feel like he's inspired, he downloads some shit from somewhere, and then that becomes inspiring, to want to like dig deeper. Or
it's a bit of fight or flight for me, because I have imposter syndrome. So I walk in there with all these cats, and I'm like, you're gonna fail, dude. You're gonna fail. You're gonna suck. It's gonna be terrible. You're gonna. And then I'm just like, a huevo. I gotta just be like, all right, bring the fire, please, God.
Well, imposter syndrome is a real thing.
Yeah, no,
and it can really take a person down and take them out of their game.
Hey, right on cue, take a person down.
Take them down.
Everybody,
yeah, no,
right?
it's serious though, because these guys are like I worship all these guys. Like, these guys, I'm in awe of them. And for me to be in the room with them, it's a little like, I don't really feel like I feel kind of like Hawkeye on the Avengers. It's like, that guy's only got arrows. You got like Hulk and Thor, and this guy shoots arrows. That's me. I'm like Hawkeye.
When you write, is it always that quick? Is there something that clicked and you just knew?
Well, I'm assuming the question is directed at both of us, and we can tell you some of them are a labor. Who Made You You was a labor.
I believe that.
Yeah. Oh, my man's getting all psychedelic.
Special effects going on.
Yeah. So, it's always each song is different. It's like, like some kids are hard to raise. Like me, I was hard, and then some kids are like, why can't you be like your brother? Like they're the good one. Why can't you be like, and that's the way some songs are. Some songs you got to really work with them real hard, and kind of tease the song out. Whereas with like some songs like Clown, like you said, that one was written in like 7 minutes. We wrote Give Me One More Chance in like 8 minutes or something. It's just certain songs are just like that.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So for the next reflection question, this is for you, Vic. The first year when I was really kind of exploring, the music, the sound of soul, I would talk to Noriega a lot. to just get insights on these records, because for those that don't know, Gabe Roland is behind just about every Noriega record that's come out that I've been aware of since 2020. And Mike would always just talk about how you could play any instrument, how you would make these sounds, get these arrangements that just were like incredible. And so my question, Vic, is can you share something that you've observed, you know, referring to that magic, you know, when it comes to Gabe in the studio?
I mean, the guy is always inspired. Like you said, ADHD. You know, like this guy, it's an embarrassment of riches for me because I'm like he sends me, you know, oodles and oodles of songs all the time. You know, and he's just always working it, and not a one of them is bad at all. Like they're all great. It's just overwhelming. You know, so luckily he does find other people to play with and do stuff with because, I mean, goddamn, this dude is tireless and it's all. I'm like, how do you continuously write? And I know I'm biased. You know, there'll be people that ain't that good. You know, but to me, everything this dude writes, I'm always like, how do you continue to write original stuff that's all different and original, but still in genre? And I'll say there's some creative license there when it comes to my man Roland, because, you know, he finds a way to push and pull at the sounds of music and the genres of music and still fit it in so that it's those yesterdays, right? Yeah. So there's something that magic about Roland, and so that's something, that's the beauty of music, right? It's magical communication in a different form, a different vehicle. And so, you know, if you you know, it's like being, you know, good at speaking English, you know, being you know, somebody who speaks eloquently. Well, you know, if this was him as a speaker, he would be a cunning linguist.
I'm gonna have to make a whole bunch of policies after this live stream tonight. Zach, you're up.
All right, Gabe. I know that you're a creative person through your art, music, and production. What drives you to create through those outlets? You kind of touched on it a little bit before about family and just everybody that pushes you, but what really drives you for artwork?
Gosh, man, for me, it's like it's a life affirming process to be just in the moment and writing, you know. It's like I'm not really a religious person, but I feel at one with God when I'm doing it. And also, you know, I'm proud Raza, I'm proud Chicano, and I think it's a one way that I can give back to the community. It's one way I can give back to my people, and it's also my big nod for all of the like African American soul songwriters and singers and players that inspire us, that inspire me. I think about, you know, what they went through to be there in that studio that day, in front of that microphone that day, you know. And you know, so a lot of this music or these styles wouldn't be heard if, you know, people like myself and, you know, all the other folks that are doing it didn't go into the studio and you know, give it their best shot. So those are the things that
very centering.
Yeah, totally. Life affirming. Yeah.
That's right.
I'm like, yeah,
it's a blessing.
I'm alive.
Man. We're upright and breathing.
Hell yeah.
Amen.
Yes, sir.
You have the next one, brother.
All right. This is for Vic and Gabe. When reflecting on all your collaborations between yourselves, which project means the most to you and why? And then how did it strengthen your working relationship as brothers?
Oh man, I think the first song that we did together, that Mr. Yesterday song, because the potential was so exciting. You know, I was like, oh shit, this fool came with some fucking tonto shit, dude. Yeah, man, we got something to like share. You know, we got something to share. So
wow.
I think
Yeah,
that,
I
for me,
think
that's
that
what it
was a
was.
beautiful moment, and especially for many friends of ours who always saw us in these tangential projects. They were like, man, it's so cool to see my boys like together doing something real special, you know? Because we were always right there doing our own thing, you know? So to do it together, there was a lot of people were like, oh, that's like a match made in heaven for people who knew us, right?
Okay.
But for me, you know, you know, we just got out of the studio and did a bunch of tracks for a future Los Yesterdays LP, and just wrapped with that, and that was the you know, that was a true test for us, because it was so, like I said, some songs are born like that, no problem, right?
Yeah.
Easy birth. And then some of these, you got to C-section these bad boys out.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
Pull them
Like,
out like
we
a
got to
pot.
resuscitate it. It's not working. It's not working. You know? And so we put in a lot of work. Roland put in the lion's share, of course, being the producer and the everything. You know, and then, you know, we fought like brothers, and then we made up like brothers. And, you know, it just shows that, you know, I remember getting pissed off at Tommy one time in the studio, and this was relatively in the beginning, and I was kind of afraid to assert myself because I kind of worship these guys. And I did you know, there was a session where I was singing and singing and singing until the band got it right, and then they're like, all right, now you cut your lead. And I'm like, man, I sang this song like 30 fucking times already. Now am I supposed to cut my lead? So we did my lead, and then I'm like, yo, man, Tommy's like, all right, we got it. And I'm like, no, man. No, we don't got it. I'm not allowing that to pass. I'm not putting that out there. Fuck that shit. You know, I go, that's fucked up. You guys get to play it a million times until it's no perfect, and then I got to come in and sing after I sang it for 3 hours and sing my lead. I'm like, no, fuck that. So then the next day I apologize. Hey, Tommy. And then Tommy's like, nah, man, no need to apologize. That just means you care. And that's why that's how we all get emotional about our music, because we care. If we didn't care, it would be like, oh, I can go home now. All right, peace. You know, but because we care, we're like, no, I can do it better.
Right.
You know, and it's that drive to really put out something that is going to be there forever. You know, not something that, oh, you know what? I wish I wouldn't have cut corners on that. I wish I would have did that the right way. You know, it's all about doing your all for it, you know, and if your all doesn't work on certain songs, you know, that's you know, that's what the vault is for. But you know, you try to do your best on everything, and I think everybody's gonna they're gonna come away with a different perspective on Los Yesterdays after this record, man, and it'll be a good one. It'll be a good one.
Yeah.
I really think all that stuff I was talking about, pushing boundaries, I really think we've accomplished that and managed to keep everything Los Yesterdays as fuck.
Yes.
Man, that's an incredible insight.
Yeah, and everything y'all do, you keep topping the next one. So I can't imagine what's up next.
You know, that's a really good point, Jack.
The drum solo. The whole album's
Nice. I can't
the whole
wait.
album's drum solo.
We'll play at the hotel. They'll rock it out. But yeah, so you kind of touched on this a little bit before, having no spot with Penrose or anything. But where did the idea of Los Yesterdays truly come from? Like, where did it come from? Where's its backbone?
Now, when you say Los Yesterdays, do you mean
I think
the idea of the band or the idea of the name of the band?
The name of the band.
So, okay, so
go ahead, Vic.
So we were trying to come up with a name. So for those who don't know, our music collaboration, like when we write songs and our business, right, our jale is the Abuelitos music. And the Abuelitos music, for those who don't speak Spanish, Abuelitos means grandpas, right? So it's kind of a little, kind of like, you know, a little wink, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. We're the old guys on the scene,
right?
You know, now not to, you know, not to take any away from the OGs, you know, we're spring chickens. I always love playing with Brent Wood and those guys. I'm like, damn, give me hope for the future. But anyway, I was like, well, we had that name, but we can't really, that name is not marketable, right? Not a lot of people aren't going to know what the Abuelitos means. They're going to be, what's the name of that band? They're really good, but I can't figure out their name, you know? So I wanted something that was like more marketable, easier to digest for, you know, the squares out there. And so I go, well, what are you trying to say? And he goes, I'm trying to say like that we're Chicano, but we're doing like oldies and stuff. And I go, okay, well, Chicano, like Los Angeles Dodgers, you know, Los Lobos, you know, whatever. And then I was like, yesterday's, like music from yesterday. How about that? And he's like, I hate it. And then the rest of the guys said, I hate it. We're not calling ourselves that. So then we went through a name change. And this is some funny inside baseball. And I guess when Roth started Penrose, he promised his wife that he would let the bands be the bands, right? Not meddle too much. And so when he told her that story, she goes, you're not letting them, you said you weren't going to do that. If you make them change their name, I'm going to leave you. And so he's like, so the name of the band is Los Yesterdays. And I'm like, yes.
I don't know.
So, yeah.
I've never heard that story before.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I get it.
I wasn't feeling
not
it.
everybody's going to like it.
I wanted some fucking, like, some name that, like you would call your Stacey Adams or some shit, you know, like the fucking Mighty Gemstone. I don't know.
Well, that was like John Lennon, you know, when he talked about the Beatles. He's like, it's just a name. He's just like, we could have been called Shoe, and it would have all been the same. It's all about the music,
right?
You know. So it's really the name is the name, but the music is what we're all here about, right?
Yes.
I love that story, though.
Yeah, it's funny.
So, you know, guys, earlier this year, I think it might have even been a little bit last year, we were treated to new news from Penrose Records, Daptone, that there was a flurry of 45s coming out. One of those 45s happens to be from Los Yesterdays. Can you give us a lens into how that came about, specifically the songs?
That song. Well, first of all, Gabe Roth came up with the idea of doing a cover, and then he was just like, I don't know, fucking, you know, let's do something like that used to be popular, but let's like fucking, you know, let's put some like ghetto shoes on it, you know, let's ghetto it up a little bit, you know, something stupid like, you know, Louie or some shit.
Thank you, Octavio G. Thank you.
And then so yeah, we just started jamming on that, and then, you know, getting it, like just putting it in the gumbo, you know, and seeing what was going to come out. And then before you know it, we had the version that ended up on side 2. The other song, Who Made You You, literally has, like, I was looking today, check this out, see if I can show you. These are all the different versions. Can you see that?
That looks about like 10 gigs. Is that 10 gigs?
We redid the song and rewrote it and redid it and rewrote it, and then would present it to Gabe and Tommy,
then
and rewrote it,
and then re-recorded it.
Yeah, so it's got it has a whole bunch of different versions. Yeah, it's got a bunch of funny shit too. Some
let
funny
me ask
shit.
this, because we've had a lot of Penrose artists come through Wax Film Fireside Chat, and we've heard about these sessions that started at 6 o'clock, but they go to 6 a.m. the next morning. Can you give us a lens into what some of these changes were, and when you finally got to that take, how did y'all feel about it compared to the existing versions?
We were too exhausted to be excited.
I can tell you one thing about that. I was so mad because we had finished the entire song and it was done, right? It was done. And then we listened to it because we're getting ready to mix it and do backup. And then Roth, like, nah, man, I ain't feeling this. I ain't feeling it. And then I'm like, Roland, do you agree with him? And Roland's like, yeah, he's right, man. I'm like, you guys are, what are you talking about? We spent like a year on this. and so I couldn't believe it. I was just outraged. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Serious, guys? I didn't hear nothing wrong with it, man. But guess what? they were right and I wasn't, and that's why they're the producers and I'm not, because the next version came out so much better, so much better. So, you know, my advice to all you young folks out there, or all you hard heads like me, listen to the producers.
We recorded the song, a full version at Penrose, and you know, it's different from what came out now, but yeah, it just didn't have that magic, didn't have that moxie, that it wasn't draped, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, shows what I
I'm
know.
just trying to imagine what these other versions sounded like.
Oh, I can play you, but I can't play you right
Captain
now.
Noriega, he'll play you the very first version that he has, and he still loves that version.
Oh.
Still in love with that version.
Oh, wow.
And it's not good.
Oh,
I
yeah.
want to hear it. I want to hear it.
He
Not
put it
good.
He put it on vinyl. Noriega put it on vinyl, didn't he?
Did
like
he?
He put it on like an
about that.
acetate. Yeah. Yeah, that Fusion.
I didn't know
6
that.
Fusion
Yeah,
5.
that's funny.
A lot of stuff going on right now. A lot of stuff going on.
Sounds like a remix.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with myself right now.
More like
this
a
is
beat.
rare. But now, in addition to the new release, we also got another visual. And I got to ask, how did you choose the song for it? Give us a lens into the story that we're watching unfold before our eyes.
So that video was something that we had toyed with about a kind of follow-up to a second part to Clown.
Yeah.
Right? But, you know, Roland and Tommy work on on this fool, that show, this fool for Hulu, the Frankie Quinones is on, right? So we played the Hollywood premiere party, Los Yesterdays did, for season 1. And we met Frankie Quinones there. He was a fan of ours. He knew who Los Yesterdays was. He was like, he came up to me. He's like, man, I've been fucking with Los Yesterdays for a minute. And I'm like, man, I've been fucking with Cholo Fit for a minute. What's up? You know? And so, you know, then he came to a show. I think it was the Penrose Showcase. He came to over in Riverside because it turns out that Mano Productions, who does promote the promotions for the Penrose shows, they're homies and they've known each other forever. So we hung out backstage before that show, and I was rapping to him about another video that we were thinking about doing. But then I told Dave Braca, Toy Raider, who's the director,
Toy Raider.
and then he goes, yo, man, why don't you hit up Frankie? And I go, oh, dude, that's crazy. I can't afford him. I go, that's not. And he goes, I thought you said you knew him. I go, I never said I knew him. I said I met his. I said I don't know him, but I know somebody who does know him. He's like, why don't you ask him? What's the harm in asking? And I go, true. All right, let me ask him. So we ask him. We don't hear fellow. We don't hear nothing, right? So in the meantime, and this is important for all the kiddies out there, we wrote a script, a treatment, to be prepared in case he said yes, right? Okay. So we went about writing this treatment as if he said yes, right? So we do it, and then we don't hear back from him for like a month. And then we follow up, and then they're like, Frankie could do this weekend in 2 weeks. Oh, wow. And we had 2 weeks to secure 7 locations and cast 4 actors and get all the extras. And then not to mention, it was pissing rain, like pouring rain that weekend.
Okay.
And there, by the grace of God, go we, and we happened to put it all together. You know, Roland helped get some cast members there. Yeah. You know, for the scene in the dance studio. I had to secure that at the last minute. It was run and gun, man. We did it in 2 weeks. We did it over the course of 2 days. but it took 2 weeks to get all the actors cast. I mean, we were literally casting up to the moment that we were gonna like have to push the button on everything, and it all just worked out. And then we had like 2 weeks, no, 2 weeks to get it edited and all correct, color corrected, sound edited, everything, and given to Penrose for our 14th release. So it was like real fast, man, real fast. And you know what made that go so smooth is Frankie is a pro, man. That dude, I'm not saying this because I've always been a fan. That guy, everything extra we asked of him, he said yes. He never bitched. He never was like, nah, man, I didn't get paid for that. He never did anything like that. He stayed and entertained everybody all day while we were setting up other shots and was just joking with everybody, taking pictures with everybody, just being a down-ass fool, down. And then when we wrapped and we said, Frankie's a wrap, you know, most people go home.
Yeah.
He sat there and watched the band do their you know, what do they call it? B-roll. You know, for us in the background and stuff like that. And he sat there and danced and he was like, man, this is my jam, homie. And I was like, and we were like, and he was like a true fan and he hung out. And then he took all the cast that was still there next door to this bar and bought everybody a shot in a round.
Wow, what a great guy.
Yeah, dude, he was just a down-ass fool, man. I'm so down with that. Like, I loved him before I met him. Now, like, I'm like, oh, that dude is, oh, man, that's my boy right there.
Family.
Yeah,
Family.
so it was great, man. It was a truly amazing experience, man.
No, that's great insight. I appreciate that.
And peep out that behind Roland's drum kit. That's a painting that Roland did.
Okay. Oh, okay.
It's a big old.
Gonna have to watch it back afterwards.
Yeah, it's a big mural, kind of like on canvas, and it's for sale, right, Roland? It's in the video, man.
People on point and everything.
It just went up in price, dog.
Yeah.
I take BET and
Take it all.
EBT.
If they make it, we
I love that.
Yeah. Country and Western. Oldies
There you
and
go.
soldies
I love
and Art LeBeaudis.
Shout out to Art LeBeau, y'all. Zach, you're up.
Yeah.
Where are we at here?
It was a video, and then I went on for 30 minutes.
I think number 7.
We covered number 7 on reflecting on collaborations.
Yeah.
I think it's on you, Wax, right now. Because number 8 I asked, and 10, 9.
Yeah. All
Thank
right,
you, Jalen.
I got us. So we kind of talked about.
Sorry, Vicky Tavoya is on the line.
Shout out to Vicky. Vicky and Matt are
That'd
pulling
be
up on the
great.
15th.
Best voice in the biz.
Yes.
So, you know, guys, global presence. Every time a release comes out, we see a visual treatment. The fan base grows. Last time I checked, the clown video, 8.8 million views on the Daptone page. We just got a release from you, but we're hungry for more. What can we expect from y'all in the remainder of 23? Are we going to see that 33 1/3 drop this year, or is that a 24 thing?
We hope so. We're it looks like, I mean, an album's never done, but I did the final mixes on Friday for I think 14 new songs or 13.
Wow.
And we're hoping, we're praying that we can actually drop a full length, you know, maybe in the fall, something like that.
Yeah, we're trying to get it as quick as possible, but you know, we got to go through the approval process. It's not just us who determines what's going to be on that record, right?
Right.
And that's what the vault is for again, you know. But we've been working hard, and we really want to get out there and play a little bit more for the fans. You know, because we didn't get a chance. We're building our second string, so to speak, and our second chairs or whatever, and trying to find people who could learn the songs and play. And everybody's everybody's so talented. All of our people that we got with this, you have to be to play this stuff, you know. So we now that we have some people and we can pull from to get a roster to go and play more shows.
Okay.
Then we're hoping to get out there more. Or at least Roland is, because I hate playing in shows.
So more shows in 23. Now let me ask this. I want to give you all at least the space to talk about some of your other side projects. What else is going on this year that we can look for from you guys? And most importantly, there's multiple accounts, so let us know where we can find you on social media.
Oh, for me, the only other big project that I'm doing this year is I composed for This Fool on Hulu with Tommy Brunick. So we're starting season 2 at the end of March, and we wrap in at the end of June or the first week of July. So we get to write music for 10 episodes, and then when that drops, probably in late August or something like that, at Hulu, season 2 should be pretty cool. I'm hearing some things about it, so
nice.
the music's probably gonna be pretty crazy.
And what's your IG handle?
Yeah,
Roland.
Oh, I'm Gabriel _Roland_Gente Soul.
And Bad Vic 13 at IG.
Okay.
I ain't gonna make you type all that like Roland. I'm merciful.
He just kept
Bad
going
Vic
with
13,
it. When he said the underscore, he
Underscore.
lost me at the underscore.
Underscore.
Not doing
So you tell somebody, it's like, what is it again? Oh man, I got lost. Where am I?
Give me
Bad
a
Vic 13.
QR code.
You can remember that when you go Bad Vic 13. All right, you're done. Then you can forget everything.
I love that. Zach, do you want space for one more before I close out?
No, I think you're good.
All right. So I've been asking all the guests this in 2023. I would love to know if there's a quote or a mantra that you keep close to heart that inspires and motivates you.
Wow, I mean, I have little things that I keep by my computer.
Yeah.
And by my mixer and stuff here, like little phrases like "settle for magic only," and if you're dancing, then it's right.
Give us one more. Give us one more Post-it note. Come on.
That's it. That's it.
Vic, how about
That's all I have for now.
Deep thoughts with Gabriel Roland. Mine is I'm gonna go back to the Oscar Wilde quote: "Be yourself. Everyone else is taken." And
that's right.
And the other one is for the fans out there: 23 and we, baby, 23 and we.
I love that. I can't wait to see an LP. I'm still gonna enjoy these 45s. I know Zach's gonna do the same. Zach, anything that you want to share with us, brother?
Man, I just enjoying the whole night with you guys, man. Like, it's good to see you, Vic, Gabe.
Hey, nice to see you, Zach.
I'm looking forward to playing out the records tomorrow night at the hotel. Got a big weekend planned, so we're going to probably pack it, stack it, and play them all night long.
Hey, man, we can't wait to get back to Memphis. So, whether it's just visiting or back in the studio, man, y'all showed 2 Chicanos from L.A. a real good time, man. It was a true Southern hospitality, man. And you really throw down on that brisket and the sides, too. All the sides, the potato side, everything was
Wait, what kind of sides? I'm a mac and cheese guy.
Man, we did everything. We did a smoked brisket sandwich. We did Polish sausage and cheese, potato salad, all kinds of sides, cookies.
That was on point.
Cookies, dude. The cookies were lined up in like color.
We do it right.
Color coordinated, and they were cascading down like some.
Yeah, in San Phillips studio, a whole spread.
It was a big spread.
It was dope. It was so dope.
Yeah.
I knew I got to get out to Memphis.
I'm telling you, you need to come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, the after parties at Howard's.
Yeah.
Hojo's?
Or Howard.
Did you say Hojo's?
No, Howard.
Howard.
I'm a little bit older. I'm talking about Howard Johnson's. You remember them?
No.
Howard Johnson.
So I love quotes because philosophy, stoicism is something that's really important to me. And I've been trying to muster up a quote every time I ask the question. So for me, my quote is like this: better to trip with the foot than the tongue.
Somebody should have
over
told
here.
me that a long time ago. At least before this interview.
Well, gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for being here tonight. I told you we'd be about 55 minutes. It's 6:54 right now. Right on schedule as I thought. This was fantastic tonight. Y'all dropped some crazy insights that we hadn't heard before. And I just think it's so special that we got to document a conversation with the two of y'all together.
Thank
Zach,
you, man.
any last minute
Fun
words,
as hell.
brother?
And just love you guys.
We're going to maybe add some outro music now, but Gabe, you got to be careful with that. They give us 15 seconds. We got to be real careful with that, baby.
Okay.
It's Waxville Fireside Chats over here. I want to thank y'all so much for coming out tonight. I want to thank everybody who joined us for almost a full hour. The stream will be up later. Waxville in Seattle, Washington. We're out of here.
What?
Thank you, brother. Rasta.
Later, guys.
Take care, y'all.
Forever.